Prince Louis is clearly a delightful character. He's full of energy, he's full of beans. He clearly finds these photo opportunities very...
For many years, individuals throughout have cherished Prince Louis's cheery smile and lighthearted demeanor during royal functions. Being Prince William's youngest child with Princess Catherine, he has consistently made the royal family happy. However, Buckingham Palace has now verified a tragic update that has been left. Everyone was quite concerned. The news has swiftly expanded around the globe, leaving fans of royalty looking for answers. Thus, what is this news about, and how will it impact the young prince? Come along with us as we discover the real story about Buckingham Palace's startling revelation about Louis, Prince. Sad news regarding Louis, Prince. Every time the royal family, the world pays attention when it makes headlines, occasionally anticipating trouble, as in Prince Andrew's case and the scandal that led him to renounce his regal titles, and occasionally searching for happy occasions, such as the coronation of Charles III, the king, that brought millions of people to celebrate together. However, the most recent information regarding Prince Louis has moved people for a completely different rationale, one that draws attention to the quiet development and charm he's already demonstrating at such an early age. The narrative started when Prince Louis, age 7, was given his first ever request to compete against a royal function. The royal was an invitation to become the world's honorary patron conqueror titles. This proposal was intended to be a significant event for the young prince, but the subsequent events were different. Everything. Watch on to find out more. For those who don't know, the World Conquer Championships has a rich history of British celebration of the classic autumnal pastime of playing with conquerors. The game displays the glossy brown horsechestnut seeds that fall. The event is suitable for families, and additionally, it generates money for charity that assists those who have lost their vision. When the organizers were informed that Louis cherished them, they believed that gathering conquerors would be an ideal match. They made the decision to write the prince and Welsh princess, extending an invitation to their young son to serve as the honorary patron of the titles. It was a nice and playful gesture, the kind of narrative the public adores, one that connects the enjoyment of young youth with noble intentions. Numerous may have anticipated the palace's acceptance of the invitation, particularly given that royal patronages have a very long history, custom in the family. However, everyone was shocked by what happened next. In response, Buckingham Palace issued a reply that was courteous and packed with humor. They expressed gratitude to the organizers kindly for their considerate offer. Bute outlined Prince Louis's busy schedule, conquer trading while pursuing his education. Many individuals smiled at the brilliant wordplay, displaying a glimpse of the playful aspect of life as a king. However, behind the joke, a significant choice was made. William, the prince, and Catherine, the princess, had decided to graciously decline the offer. They had a straightforward explanation. They wished for their kids to develop as regularly as possible. Despite princes, Louis is at the top of the succession. His parents have consistently said that people desire him, in addition to his sister Charlotte and brother George, to enjoy a solid upbringing full of play, education, and family time instead, rather than governmental obligations. The love of Prince Louis for conquerors initially became apparent when the Princess of Wales brought it up. During a visit by the public, she stated that Adelaide Cottage, their residence, was frequently full of the victories he had amassed. The conqueror was concealed beneath pillows, in drawers, as well as within his bed. She chuckled while explaining how Louis used his toy trucks to transport them, transforming a basic pastime into unlimited enjoyment. It was a glimpse of a young boy who loves the same, despite being royal. Tiny pleasures like any other child. As fall drew to a close, the young prince's conquered collection had almost seized control of the home. Simultaneously, he was getting ready for his half-term vacation. From the same school, Lamrock School, his siblings were present. Additionally, there are reports that the Wales family may shortly relocate to Forest Lodge, a new residence, which would provide the kids with even more a place to play outside. The palace's reaction to the promise of conquering patronage represented the family-oriented way of life. Regarding Prince William and Princess childhood, Catherine, is not something to hurry through. They think their children ought to be allowed to develop, learn, and have fun without the burdensome pressure to live up to royal expectations too soon. However, even though the choice made sense, it also caused a surge of contemplation. Numerous individuals noted that Louise wouldn't have been the first. A young royal will be associated with a non-profit function. Actually, history demonstrates that royal family members have frequently been exposed to service at an early age. Prince Harry and Prince William, for instance, both acquired knowledge of public obligation from their parents. Diana, princess, that her sons witnessed the true world beyond the walls of the palace. She brought them to shelters, medical facilities, and community centers, imparting empathy and compassion via experience as opposed to lectures. William frequently talked later regarding how such encounters influenced him, how observing his mother converse with others he was shown kindness and sympathy, what service actually entails. However, it did not give up on them. Now, their father, Charles III, the king, was also a young man. At the age of 9, he was previously called Prince of Wales. Additionally, even though it was a metaphorical title, it signaled the beginning of his lengthy public career. As an adolescent, he started serving as Queen Elizabeth II's representative at gatherings and became passionate about issues such as youth and the environment. Those initial teachings would characterize his life's work later on. The paths taken by royals were comparable. Princess Anne, who has a great work ethic, started participating in official tasks while still in adolescence. By the time she was 20, she was elected president of Save the Kids, and she didn't handle it like a title on paper. She immersed herself into the work, going to sites all around the world. Even after decades, she is still among the most engaged members of the royal family. The Duke of Prince Edward Edinburgh had a more subdued start to public existence. Although he frequently went with his parents to occasions when he was a child, it took him some time to figure out his own path. Later on, he took part in groups that complemented his personal interests in the arts and education. His early encounters with royal obligation enabled him to comprehend how to link his interests with important public service. Even further back, offspring of royalty were frequently provided in previous ages, honorifics long before they were prepared for actual tasks. Within Prince Albert Edward, later king, in the 1980s, Edward III was awarded multiple honorary appointments as a boy, primarily symbolic roles intended to demonstrate royal backing. The actual job was done by adults. However, the titles used to strengthen the royal family's role in society. For more than a period, the strategy for elevating royal children has evolved. The emphasis changed from granting them titles beforehand to allowing them gain knowledge by experience and maturity. Rather than being positioned in the spotlight too soon, they are progressively taught what it is to serve others by observing, discovering, and comprehending the individuals behind the rituals. This shift is seen in how William the Prince and Catherine the Princess are taking care of their 3 kids. They frequently express a desire for George, Louis, and Charlotte to comprehend the universe before portraying it. Their public appearances are carefully selected, and each youngster is gradually introduced to royal obligations in ways that are suitable for their age. Refusing to accept the conquered patronage could appear insignificant, but it demonstrates a significant portion of their ideology. They desire Louis to relish his formative years. Concentrate on your studies, friends, and basic early years prior to carrying the burden of royal expectations. It's a reminder that within the royal family as well, being a child is still important. Additionally, people smiled at the narrative, and it also gained admiration. It was interpreted by many as a sign that the royals of the future will have a greater awareness of equilibrium, one that alerts them to obligation, but not too early. In a household that has experienced its fair share of pressure, this tactful method feels revitalizing. Currently, as the young prince keeps traveling, many are interested regarding his future and his siblings. How things are going for Prince William and Princess Catherine is getting ready, their offspring for upcoming royal responsibilities. Keep an eye out, the responses might surprise you. William and Princess Catherine's parenting approach. Now, to comprehend how important Prince William and Princess, the truth about Catherine's strategy is, we have to observe how royal offspring were grown up in the past, and how those teachings influence the developments that we observe now. Consider Prince Edward, Queen's youngest son, Prince Philip, and Elizabeth II. Edward was expected to fit in from a young age into a very regimented royal design. He was given early, long-term public positions before he could develop to his full potential within himself. The obligation to represent the crown was enormous. Additionally, as he handled a large portion of it gracefully, the demands made to him were frequently overpowering. Prince Edward's brief existence in the Royal Marines, which came to an end when, after only a few months of training, he quit, was a reminder of how challenging it could be for royalty to maintain a personal balance, identification with civic responsibility. In actuality, those early positions frequently weren't beneficial. The pressure is absorbed by youthful royals. They merely made it bigger. There wasn't much space for errors, and each error turned into a headline. For some, it resulted in public scrutiny and individual hardship. Over time, this pattern became evident to the following generation. It demonstrated that being abruptly thrust into the life of royalty could do more damage than good. That is among the explanations for why Prince William and Princess Catherine have selected an entirely different course for their own kids. They have personally witnessed how early exposure to royal responsibilities can weigh on an individual, particularly prior to they're prepared to deal with it. George is what they want Louis and Charlotte to develop into strong adults, friendly, self-assured, not nervous, or under pressure. Catherine and William's, the foundation of parenting philosophy is one distinct concept. Royalty ought never to occur. Before childhood, their house isn't just a regal home, it is a secure area, full with regularity, fun, and unity. When the family relocated from Adelaide Cottage to Kensington Palace in Windsor, it wasn't only a shift in landscape, it was a conscious move in the direction of seclusion and tranquility. The kids are there, can play, run, and explore without continuous crowds or cameras. As for George, Louis and Charlotte are at home, can just be children. Once, Catherine said that children who have a secure upbringing, the wings to soar, and the roots to grow, and everything reflects that belief. They do. Among the most discussed the couple's decisions are their no-phone rule. In the course of an interview for the Reluctant Passenger with Eugene Levy, Prince William confirmed that their youngsters do not yet own cell phones. Since he and Catherine desire that they enjoy life outside of the screen, it might seem insignificant, but this choice indicates a lot about how seriously they view contemporary raising a child. William, as well as Catherine, understand how intrusive the media can be. They were raised to draw attention to themselves, and William particularly observed the expense of continuous public scrutiny. He recalls the experience of observing his parents, Princess Diana and King Charles, alive. Under such scrutiny, his outlook was impacted by experiences as a dad. He is committed to giving today his kids the security and tranquility he once desired. Thus, in Adelaide, evenings are sacred in the cottage, and phones are stored, and the family congregates at the table for dinner. Now is the moment to conversing, chuckling, and telling tales concerning their day. The youngest, Louis, is renowned for packing these meals with his humor and endless vigor. His light-hearted space is frequently made lighter by nature, reminding everyone that happiness is found in the little, everyday moments. Princess Catherine has consistently discussed the significance of being in the now. She feels that kids develop most effectively when they don't feel heard and noticed, when they are amused by screens or encircled by formalities. Through her years of experience working with young children development, she has highlighted that deep emotional ties in the early years mold a person's self-assurance for life. She practices that lesson every day at home. Catherine and William's, additionally, parenting style is notable because of their level of involvement. In contrast to earlier generations, who frequently depended significantly on William, and Catherine would rather have nannies raise their kids themselves. Prince William takes the children to school, participates in teacher meetings, and whenever possible, he assists with homework. At Lamrock School, other parents frequently characterize him as personable and grounded. Just another father carrying out the school run. For Catherine, becoming a mother and her royal position are closely related. She's managed to combine the two worlds, applying the knowledge she gains from bringing them home and doing charitable work. She frequently speaks with professionals, for instance, regarding how outdoor play and creativity encourage kids to communicate their feelings. When home, which entails spending afternoons in the garden, constructing dens, sketching, or gathering conquerors, one of Louis's favorite pastimes. Even when difficult periods like Catherine's recuperation from illness, the family's relationship has not wavered. Louis's happy disposition helped maintain the house's brightness, demonstrating because even during trying times, love and laughter is a potent source of restoration. However, William and Catherine's aspirations for their kids go beyond keeping them content. They desire that they comprehend the world outside of royal walls. William has previously stated that he wants his kids to see the true world, not merely the world of kings. That belief is ingrained in the teachings. The princess, his mother, taught him Diana. He and Prince Harry were taken by her to visit charity, hospitals, and shelters, that they might interact with individuals dealing with actual difficulties. William is currently carrying out the same with his own kids, discreetly and without any fanfare. Whenever he could, Hind George was involved by Catherine, Louise, and Charlotte performing tiny acts of generosity. They've brought them to hospitals, community centers, and nearby occasions where they can hear, learn, and recognize that each person's narrative matters. They learn from these experiences that having a royal title has nothing to do with status. It's about compassion, service, and deference. William's candor as a dad has impacted a lot of individuals as well. In an emotional interview, he once stated that if any of his kids came out as gay, he would cherish and encourage them. Entirely, he stated that his primary worry was the public's possible response. That candor demonstrated to the world that Catherine and William are not raising their kids to encounter such an image. They're teaching children to be kind, self-assured, and loyal to themselves. Together, William and Catherine has reinterpreted what it means to become a royal. They have constructed a house based on compassion where discussions concerning emotions are as typical as conversations concerning school or companions. Their strategy combines custom and with contemporary knowledge, a balance that previous generations hardly ever accomplished. That's not all, though. In the meantime, their decisions stand in stark contrast to the parenting style of Prince Harry and Meghan in the US. Harry has spoken something, numerous occasions of how the absence of love and dialogue throughout his early years had an impact on him. He once stated that he wishes to keep his kids safe, Libet and Archie, due to public pressure. He frequently talks about ending the cycle, terrible suffering he endured as a child. Both families have the same objective, to provide their kids affection, security, and the freedom to develop at their own speed, even if they approach it differently. Regarding Prince Louis, the youngest of the children of Wales, his path is still open and brimming with opportunities, in contrast to George, who will rule as king someday, or Charlotte, who is officially a royal position. Louis can just enjoy your childhood. His parents promote his inquisitiveness, his joy, and his compassionate nature. They desire that he investigate, to discover, and to ascertain who before any titles define him. He is truly him. Any titles define him. He is truly him.